Welcome to the Health, Balance, and Wellness channel, your oasis of peace. Today, more and more people are talking about diabetes reversal, which isn't just symptom control or daily management, but a truly definitive cure. Think about it, it's truly incredible that, in an era where science has made enormous strides, millions of people are forced to constantly monitor their blood sugar levels every day, fearing any fluctuation. Yet, modern scientific knowledge clearly tells us that diabetes can be permanently reversed, without falling back into the slavery of drugs or obsessive monitoring, provided that one radically changes one's diet. Despite this, there's still a lot of confusion. Indeed, there's no shortage of paradoxical examples. People are convinced that natural fruits like figs or grapes are so dangerous that they should be avoided altogether, yet perhaps no one tells them which are the truly harmful foods that are fueling the problem. Therefore, the aim of this explanation is to clarify two fundamental points. What are the foods that unknowingly worsen diabetes and are often consumed without realizing it? What is the most effective dietary strategy for achieving stable remission, without having to live with blood sugar anxiety? Low-calorie diet, does it really work? One of the first topics to address concerns low-calorie diets. All recent studies agree on one fact: calorie restriction and the resulting weight loss lead to significant improvements in those with diabetes. Even a loss of about 7 kilos per month can have significant effects. The mechanism is clear: losing weight, whatever the method, reduces the burden on the pancreas and liver, improving the body's ability to handle sugar. Some achieve results with intermittent fasting, others with prolonged fasting, and still others simply by reducing portion sizes in general. Even an unbalanced diet, as long as it's low in calories, can provide some benefits. However, the issue is more complex. Losing weight isn't enough if, at the same time, you continue to consume foods that stimulate your appetite, disrupt your metabolism, and hinder your full recovery. This is where the foods to avoid come into play. The hidden salt. The first silent enemy is salt. Not because it directly impacts blood sugar, but because it stimulates appetite and leads to overeating, especially foods high in fat and sugar. We find it everywhere: in bread, packaged pasta, commercially produced chips, and even home-cooked meals. More salt means more portions and more calories, resulting in maintaining the excess weight that fuels diabetes. Red and processed meats. In second place are red and processed meats. These foods, often very tasty, are rich in saturated fats that are deposited around vital organs like the liver and pancreas, coating them like a film. This lipid coating compromises the proper functioning of these organs, preventing balanced sugar management. While meat doesn't directly raise blood sugar, its constant consumption creates the perfect breeding ground for diabetes to persist or worsen. Cheese is no less problematic. Rich in both saturated fat and salt, it's one of the most dangerous foods for diabetics. Its massive presence in the modern diet makes it a silent but constant aggravating factor. Furthermore, the food industry tends to include it everywhere: in ready meals, in restaurant recipes, even as an essential ingredient in advertisements. Butter and cream. Many people underestimate the role of butter and cream. While they don't always appear prominently on the plate, they're present in countless dishes and contribute significantly to overall calorie intake. Anyone who truly wants to improve their health should drastically limit their use, as well as that of oils, which should be used sparingly. Sauces, sugary drinks, and alcohol. Finally, among the worst enemies are industrial sauces and sugary or alcoholic beverages. Packaged tomato sauce, ketchup, and barbecue sauces are all loaded with added sugars. Added to these are carbonated drinks, sugary juices, and alcohol, which weigh down the body and significantly worsen insulin resistance. What is the solution then? Once the main harmful foods have been identified, the question becomes, what diet should we adopt to truly cure diabetes? Scientific studies have shown that simply reducing calories isn't a permanent solution, as maintaining a low-calorie diet for long is difficult. What does offer lasting results, however, is a diet based on whole plant-based foods, unrefined grains, legumes, vegetables, fruits, and seeds. A major duomelidotocide study demonstrated that a vegetarian or vegan diet, without calorie restrictions, significantly improves blood sugar levels and reduces the need for medications. Even those who didn't lose weight experienced benefits, a sign that the benefits aren't just down to weight loss, but also to the quality of the food. And this isn't an isolated case. A pioneering study 50 years ago showed that people with diabetes for decades, forced to follow a completely plant-based, fiber-rich diet, up to 65 grams per day, saw their insulin needs drastically reduced. Some, after just set-aside days, stopped injecting it altogether. Furthermore, cholesterol levels, improvements in blood pressure, and a general increase in energy were observed. What do these results teach us? These data lead us to one conclusion: diabetes is not a life sentence, but a condition that can be reversed with radical dietary choices. Continuing to demonize figs, chestnuts, or potatoes is reductive, because the problem isn't complex carbohydrates or fruit, but rather animal fats, processed foods, and the empty calories that saturate the body. Scientists, however, warn against a common mistake, thinking that a little moderation is all it takes. In reality, small changes only yield small results. To achieve real improvements, a clear and decisive shift is needed, eliminating animal and processed foods as much as possible, replacing them with fresh, whole vegetables. The famous phrase, "shoot for the moon, even if you fail, you'll be among the stars," applies perfectly. The more radical the change, the greater the benefits. These aren't slogans, but evidence documented in dozens of studies, available to anyone. A new perspective on diabetes. We must therefore learn to view diabetes not as a chronic and irreversible disease, but as a condition that can be addressed and defeated with an appropriate lifestyle. This is not a dream. Concrete examples, clinical data, and scientific evidence demonstrate this. The final message is clear: nutrition has the power not only to prevent, but also to cure. A plant-based, whole-grain, and fiber-rich diet currently represents the most robust and scientifically supported path to truly freeing oneself from diabetes. Please note that this video is for informational purposes only and should not replace medical advice. If you have any questions, please contact your doctor. If you like our videos, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any upcoming content. See you in the next video.